Good day students. In this video lecture we will be seeing the adoption or adaptation of the internet protocol. As we have seen in the previous video lecture, IP is a suitable candidate to be used in the network layer of IoT. The reason is it is open source and standards based, ubiquitous, versatile, and it is widely adopted by the consumers in their devices and all. But the problem over here is uh, if it is a IT network, then adapting or adapting or adoption of IP is not a big challenge. The reason is you have the end-to-end setup where there is a good amount of memory, processing power, and storage capacity in the information technology network. If we go to the operational technology, then we may have the devices which have only few kbs of memory or very small processing power, where it may be difficult for it to process the heavyweight IP protocol. So at that time we have to think and either adapt or adopt the IP protocol. So there is a subtle difference between the two. So we will see that uh, usually use of the numerous network protocols in addition to IP is often a point of contention between computer networking experts. So one of the two models proposed is the either you adapt for that or adopt that. Adaptation means application layered gateways, that is the ALGs must be implemented to ensure the translation between the non-IP and IP layers. What do you means? What do you do means you only adapt IP layer as the network layer, and the other layers you keep it as it is, and you do the translation when it goes from the data link layer to the network layer to the higher layer in the particular domain. That is the adaptation, adapting to that particular ecosystem. Adoption means you are completely replacing all the non-IP layers in your architecture with their IP layer counterparts, then simplifying the deployment model and operation. So adoption involves complete replacement. Adapting means only where you require the IP layer you adapt that, and remaining non-IP layers let it be like that. But whenever you move the data or the information from one layer to another, you translate it to the particular layer's requirement. That we are going to do in the adaptation. So IP adaptation and adoption applied to the IoT last mile connectivity. In the industrial and manufacturing sector, there has been a move towards IP adoption, that is completely adopting the IP solutions. Solutions and the products lifecycle in this space are spread over 10 plus years, and many protocols have been developed for serial communication. Uh, the problem over here is completely replacing this non-IP with the IP would be difficult. While IP and Ethernet support were not specified in the initial versions, more recent specification for these serial communication protocols integrate Ethernet and IPv4. So what we can do means either we can adapt or adopt. So adoption is bit difficult, where you have to completely replace the non-IP with IP. Adapting may be bit easier. So supervisory control and data acquisition, that is the SCADA applications, are typical examples of the vertical market deployments that operate IP adaptation model and adoption model, and found at the core of many modern industries. That is the SCADA is an automation control system for remote monitoring and control of equipment. Nowadays SCADA based system is extensively used in weather information systems, traffic monitoring, or riverside monitoring. All those things they are being used. These implementations make use of the IP adaptation, have SCADA devices attached through the serial interfaces through a gateway tunneling or translating traffic, while the adoption model SCADA devices are attached via Ethernet to switches and routers forwarding their IPv4 traffic. You can use both of these models, whichever you want. Adoption means you have to replace the non-IP with the IP. In the adaptation, you use the IP wherever it is required, and you do the translation of the packets for the non-IP layers. So one example is SCADA we are going to take, that is the supervisory control and data acquisition, which is used in the remote monitoring and control of equipment, as I have said earlier, in the traffic monitoring, weather forecasting or riverside monitoring and all, we can use it. So some of the factors that should be taken into consideration to determine which model is best suited for last mile connectivity are the following: bidirectional versus unidirectional data flow. While bidirectional communications are generally expected, some last mile technologies offer optimization only for unidirectional communication. For example, different classes of IoT devices as defined in the RFC 7228 may only infrequently need to report a few bytes of data to an application. In this case, having the bidirectional data uh, may be very not relevant. So in these sort of devices, particularly ones that communicate through the low power wireless access technologies, include the fire alarms, sending alerts or daily test reports, electrical switches being pushed on or off, water or gas meter sending weekly indexes. For these cases, it is not necessarily worth implementing a full IP stack. That is, adopting a full IP stack is not worth in these cases where you are very infrequently reporting a few bytes of data to a particular application. However, it requires the overall end-to-end architecture to solve potential drawbacks. For example, if there is only one-way communication to upload the data to an application, then it is not possible to download new software or firmware to the devices. Next factor is overhead for last mile communication paths. IP adoption implies a layered architecture with the per packet overhead that varies depending upon the IP version. Suppose if we take the IPv4, then 20 bytes of header at a minimum will be there, and IPv6 will have the 40 bytes of header. For the IP transport layer, if we are going to use the UDP, then 8 bytes of header overhead, while TCP if we are going to use means minimum of 20 bytes will be there. So if the data to be forwarded by a device is very infrequent, or if we are having a very few bytes, then using the full IP stack in the last mile communication is not advisable. The reason is the headers overhead or IP plus transport layers header overhead will be more compared to the actual data. So we need to think, and based on our application and the requirement, we should go for either full adoption, otherwise we may adapt the IP layer wherever it is required. Another thing is the data flow model. One benefit of the IP adoption model is the end-to-end nature of the communication. Any node can easily exchange the data with any other node in a network. Although security, privacy and other factors may put controls and limit on the end-to-end concept. But suppose if you are adopting a complete IP layer, you are going to get the full end-to-end IP ecosystem. Network diversity is the one more factor which you need to take into consideration. One of the drawbacks of the adaptation model is a general dependency on single physical and MAC layers. Suppose if you are adapting to a particular ecosystem, then the dependency may be created based on a particular physical and MAC layer. Suppose say that if you are using the ZigBee, then based on ZigBee's physical and MAC layers, the dependency will come for the IP, and its versatility may not be there as it is having the versatility in the adopted model. So therefore a deployment must consider which applications have to run on the gateway connecting these islands and the rest of the world. So this brings us to the end of the lecture on adoption and adaptation model for IP. Thank you.